If you're a man over 60, I need you to hear this carefully. There's a group of vegetables, yes, vegetables, that could be slowly killing your erections, draining your testosterone, and blocking blood flow where you need it most. And the shocking part? These are vegetables most doctors say are healthy. But for older men, they may be silently doing the opposite. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping men just like you restore vitality, protect their prostate, and reignite performance, naturally. Now here's the twist. Some of the vegetables you've trusted for decades may actually be the very ones ruining your energy, hormones, and confidence. And you won't believe what they are. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the 4 vegetables you should never eat after 60. And more importantly, the 4 powerful vegetables you need to start eating instead to support blood flow, testosterone, and masculine strength at any age. And stay with me until the end, because the worst vegetable of all is likely sitting in your kitchen right now, disguised as health. Before we dive in, if you're a man over 60 and care about your energy, circulation, and bedroom confidence, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss another vital tip designed just for you. And if this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me make these videos better for your needs. All right, let's begin with the very first vegetable you should never eat after 60. It's one that many men think is heart healthy, but in reality, it quietly disrupts your hormones and weakens your erections over time. I'm talking about soy, and here's why it's such a hidden danger. 1. Soy-based vegetables. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, Mark, 67 years old, retired engineer, proud grandfather of 3. He came into my office confused and frustrated. He exercised daily, avoided junk food, even followed a plant-based diet. Yet his energy was fading, his mood was low, and intimacy had quietly disappeared from his life. Blood work revealed the truth. His testosterone was in the gutter, estrogen was elevated, and his blood vessels showed signs of early restriction. And the surprising culprit? Soy. Soy-based vegetables like edamame, soybeans, tofu, they're praised as heart-healthy, cholesterol-lowering, and even man-friendly. But for older men, they can be a hormonal trap. Soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens, which mimic the female hormone estrogen inside the body. When you eat soy frequently after age 60, your body absorbs these plant estrogens, and over time, they begin to outcompete your testosterone, lowering your drive, reducing muscle mass, and most dangerously, choking off the very signals that trigger erections. The cost of soy isn't just a number on a hormone chart, it's the slow erosion of what makes you feel like a man. The spark, the edge, the quiet confidence. And most men have no idea it's happening, until it's almost too late. When we removed soy from Mark's diet and supported his liver detox pathways, his energy rebounded within weeks, his morning erections returned, his relationship warmed. He said, "I feel like I got 10 years back." But soy is only the first. There's another leafy vegetable you've probably blended into your green smoothies that sounds innocent, but can silently harden your kidneys, rob your circulation, and leave your manhood weaker than ever. Let's talk about that next. 2. Raw spinach. If there's one vegetable almost every man assumes is a superfood, it's spinach. It's the star of green smoothies, morning omelets, and health blogs everywhere. And yet, I've had to warn dozens of patients, good men in their 60s and 70s, about the quiet damage raw spinach can do to their circulation, kidneys, and bedroom confidence. One of those men was Richard, 63 years old, big believer in healthy living. He came in with nagging pelvic pressure, dull erections, and occasional pain in his lower back. He thought it was just aging or maybe prostate swelling. But when we ran his labs and reviewed his diet, a red flag appeared. He was consuming raw spinach every single day. Here's what most men don't realize. Raw spinach is loaded with oxalates. These plant compounds bind to vital minerals like calcium and magnesium, forming crystals that clog up the kidneys, stiffen soft tissues, and reduce the availability of nutrients needed for healthy blood flow. Over time, this can lead to kidney stones, joint stiffness, and even block the production of nitric oxide, the very molecule that triggers an erection. The price Richard was paying wasn't just urinary discomfort, it was poor circulation to his pelvis, mineral depletion, and a quiet weakening of his manhood. Once he switched to steamed spinach just twice a week and diversified his greens, things began to change. He slept better. His back pain faded. His morning drive returned. But spinach isn't the only veggie in disguise. The next one is found in nearly every American kitchen, especially in processed form. And it attacks your blood sugar, waistline, état, and testosterone all at once. Most men eat it weekly without knowing the long-term damage. Let's dive into it now. 3. Processed corn and corn-based products. I remember sitting across from George, a 70-year-old retired firefighter with broad shoulders and a quiet strength in his voice. But beneath that exterior, he was struggling. His doctor told him his blood sugar was climbing, his belly fat had increased, and worst of all, his ability to perform had become unreliable. "Doc," he said, "I eat clean. I don't touch sweets. I don't drink soda. I don't know what I'm doing wrong." We looked deeper into his diet. And there it was, corn. Not just corn on the cob, but corn chips, corn oil, canned corn, and microwave popcorn. All these innocent-sounding foods were flooding his body with processed carbs, added sugars, and inflammatory oils. Here's what I told George, and what I'll tell you now. Processed corn spikes your blood sugar faster than candy. It leads to insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and an increase in abdominal fat, which converts testosterone into estrogen. And that's not just bad for your waistline, it's devastating for your hormones, your confidence, and your erections. The true cost of processed corn isn't just high blood pressure or fatigue, it's the slow choking of your arteries, especially the small vessels that fuel your manhood. It's the quiet buildup of plaque that robs you of the ability to feel alive and connected in the bedroom. George removed it completely and replaced it with real, whole foods. 3 months later, his doctor reduced his medications, and his wife told me, "I got my husband back." But there's still one more so-called health food that's praised for its heart benefits. Yet it contains plant compounds that act like female hormones. If you're sprinkling this into your smoothie or morning cereal, you need to hear what it's really doing to your testosterone. Let's talk about it next. 4. Flaxseeds and flax-based products. When Daniel, a 64-year-old former high school coach, came into my office, he was doing everything by the book. He'd swapped red meat for veggie burgers, added flaxseed to his morning oatmeal, and even drank flax milk, thinking he was protecting his heart. But what he didn't realize was that these habits, marketed as healthy, were slowly unraveling his masculine biology from the inside out. His complaint? Loss of morning erections, feeling soft, and a frustrating drop in energy and motivation. Blood work showed his free testosterone was unusually low, and estrogen markers were climbing. He was unknowingly drowning in a flood of plant estrogens. Flax seeds are loaded with lignans, compounds that behave like estrogen in the male body. And while that might sound harmless, for men over 60 with already declining testosterone, it's a hormonal ambush. These compounds latch onto estrogen receptors, reduce testosterone's activity, and create a chemical imbalance that quietly weakens your drive, your erections, and your sense of self. The cost Daniel paid wasn't just hormonal, it was emotional. He told me, "I feel like I'm disappearing." And he's not alone. Many men reach this stage thinking they're doing everything right, not realizing the foods they trust are blurring the very lines that make them feel strong, grounded, and alive. Once he eliminated flax-based products and began focusing on male-supportive nutrients, things began to shift. His spark came back. His presence returned. And that brings us to the exciting part, what to eat instead. Because the very first vegetable I'm going to share doesn't just protect your manhood, it can literally open up your blood vessels, improve circulation to your pelvis, and reignite the fire you thought was gone. Let's talk about it now. 1. Beets, the circulation reviver. I'll never forget my patient Alan, 71 years old, soft-spoken, and once full of energy and humor. But when he sat in my office that day, he looked exhausted. "Doc," he said, "I feel like something's just fading. I'm eating better, I'm walking daily, but down there, it's like nothing works anymore." That's when I asked him a simple question. Have you ever tried beets? Beets are one of nature's most powerful allies for male vitality, especially after 60. They're rich in dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the very molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels, improving circulation, and triggering an erection. When blood flow to the pelvic region improves, everything changes. More oxygen, more sensation, more strength. I had Alan start with a small glass of beet juice every morning, nothing fancy. Within 10 days, he called me. "Doc, I woke up hard, first time in months." His voice had life in it again. That's what circulation does. It brings your body back online. The cost of not getting enough? Numbness, frustration, and silent disconnection between you and your partner. But one humble root, when used consistently, can change that trajectory. It's not a miracle. It's science working with your body, not against it. But boosting blood flow is just the first step. The next vegetable I'll show you works on a different level. It helps flush out harmful hormones that secretly build up with age and sabotage your manhood from the inside out. And when you combine it with beets, the results can be remarkable. Let's explore it together. 2. Asparagus, the hormonal detoxifier. A few years ago, I met Thomas, a 66-year-old retired Navy officer. Strong hands, sharp mind, but something was off. "I'm slowing down, Doc, not just in energy, in ways I don't want to admit." He hesitated before saying, "Intimacy's become more of a memory than a moment." That quiet confession stuck with me. I asked him about his digestion, water intake, and what vegetables he ate regularly. Asparagus wasn't on his list, and that's where we began. Asparagus is more than just a side dish. It's one of the most powerful hormonal detoxifiers in nature. Rich in vitamin E and a natural diuretic, it helps flush out excess estrogen that quietly builds up in a man's body with age. When estrogen rises and testosterone drops, everything changes. Libido fades, belly fat increases, confidence slips, and erections grow weaker and less frequent. The price of ignoring this hormone imbalance isn't just emotional, it's physical and deeply personal. Your body feels heavier, your desire dims, your spark disappears. But Thomas made the shift. 3 servings a week of lightly steamed asparagus paired with improved hydration and a few liver-supporting herbs, and within weeks, his energy shifted. His wife noticed the change before he did. Asparagus doesn't just help you feel lighter, it clears the hormonal fog that so many men over 60 live with without knowing. But detox is just one piece of the puzzle. Because the next group of vegetables does something truly remarkable. They don't just protect your hormones, they help your body transform bad estrogen into safer forms and unlock testosterone that's been trapped for years. The science behind them is powerful. Let me show you how they work. 3. Cruciferous Vegetables, the hormone protectors. When I first met David, he was 68 and looked healthy on the outside, but his body was sending quiet distress signals. Low energy, creeping weight around the midsection, and that dull frustration of not feeling like himself anymore. "I'm not depressed," he told me, "but I'm not fully alive either." He wasn't sleeping well, intimacy felt forced, and his confidence was fading. We ran his hormone panel. His testosterone was borderline low, but what stood out was his elevated estrogen metabolites, markers that his body wasn't properly clearing out the excess. That's when I introduced cruciferous vegetables into his life. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. Not just for fiber or general health, but for the powerful compounds inside them, indole 3-carbinol and DIM. These natural compounds support the liver in converting toxic forms of estrogen into safer, inactive forms. They help free up bound testosterone so your body can actually use it. The cost of skipping cruciferous vegetables isn't immediate, but it's real. Over time, your hormonal balance shifts silently. Testosterone gets locked away, estrogen builds, and what you feel is a slower, heavier version of yourself, mentally and physically. It's not aging, it's hormone congestion. David committed. A serving of broccoli a day, roasted Brussels sprouts at dinner. Within a month, he said something that stuck with me. I feel like my body finally exhaled. But hormone balance isn't just about estrogen detox. Your blood vessels also need nutrients that protect, relax, and oxygenate. And that brings us to one of the most misunderstood greens, a leafy powerhouse that only works its magic when you prepare it the right way. Most men eat it wrong. Let's fix that next. 4. Cooked dark leafy greens, the circulation and testosterone boosters. Michael was 72 and still sharp, disciplined, and determined. He came to see me because he was frustrated. "Doc," he said, "I eat clean, green smoothies, kale, spinach, arugula, you name it. But I still feel off. My joints ache, I don't recover like I used to, and in the bedroom, it's just not happening." He was doing all the right things, except for one detail that makes all the difference after 60, he wasn't cooking his greens. Dark leafy greens like kale, Swiss chard, and arugula are loaded with magnesium, vitamin K, and natural nitrates. These are exactly what an aging male body needs to boost testosterone, improve nitric oxide, and support healthy circulation. But when eaten raw, these same greens are packed with oxalates, plant compounds that can block mineral absorption and even trigger inflammation in the kidneys, joints, and blood vessels. And that's the hidden cost most men never hear about. You try to do something healthy, and instead, you end up with stiffness, fogginess, and weaker blood flow to the very parts of your body you're trying to support. It's not your fault, it's the missing information. Once we switched Michael to lightly sautéed greens with olive oil, garlic, and lemon, his recovery improved, his sleep deepened, and his confidence slowly returned. He told me, "I didn't know I could feel this clear again." But now that you know which vegetables to avoid and which ones to embrace, there's one final piece we need to talk about, because what you eat is only half the story. The real transformation begins when you understand what happens inside your body once you make these changes, and how fast things can shift if you stay consistent. Let's bring it all together. Conclusion. Over the past 30 years, I've sat across from thousands of men, strong men, proud men, who came to me confused, frustrated, and tired of silently losing the parts of themselves that once felt unshakable. And so often, it starts with something simple. What's on their plate? We've now uncovered the 4 vegetables you should never eat after 60: soy-based products, raw spinach, processed corn, and flaxseed. Each one, in its own way, chips away at your testosterone, your circulation, and your confidence as a man. The cost isn't always obvious at first, but over time, it becomes personal. Energy fades, desire slips, and connection weakens. But we've also revealed your path forward. 4 vegetables that work with your biology, not against it. Beets to open up your blood vessels, asparagus to flush out harmful hormones, cruciferous vegetables to restore balance, and cooked leafy greens to rebuild strength at the cellular level. None of this requires a prescription, just the willingness to see your body as capable, not broken. I've watched men turn things around in just weeks by making these small, focused changes. And I believe you can too, because the truth is, you're not too old, you're not too far gone, you just haven't been given the right information until now. Start today. Your strength, your vitality, your manhood, they're still within reach.